guys, this is Rachel Kirkland, the Modern Shaman, and I'm here for some question and answer time. So welcome, thanks for joining me, and I'm just going to jump straight into the question today. I'm going to trust that if you haven't already subscribed to my channel here on YouTube, please do so, and you can contact me. I'm going to trust that basically you've seen at some point any of those cards that have my contact information on them. If you want to contact me or send in your own question for these videos, I would love to chat with you, connect with you. Okay, so the question for today says, what are your thoughts on gender-neutral beings? I feel both feminine and masculine. Is there any specific purpose for people like myself? Awesome. So I'm gonna make myself short. Gender-neutral beings, androgynous beings. Is there any specific purpose? So I'm going to tune into that question, like the specific purpose for gender-neutral beings, in a minute, but because I feel like there needs to be a caveat here said that I see the human race in general going in an androgynous direction. Whenever I see higher dimensional earths or higher dimensional planes, the beings are typically androgynous. And I feel like we are going there as a human race. I feel like this is being seen in both the feminine, which is being very balanced with their own masculinity and levels of estrogen and testosterone in the human body, as well as on the masculine side in males having more estrogen in the body and feeling more connected to their feminine psyche and feminine intuitive nature. And if you're not familiar with kind of qualities of the sacred feminine and sacred masculine, those definitions, sacred masculine, sacred feminine, go way back. They're in a lot of the Egyptian writings, the pyramid texts, and a lot of their symbology and iconography. Yeah, so it's not new, but I do feel like more and more as we are integrating our light bodies are not gender specific, they are androgynous, and the more and more we are embodying our light body, which is, when I say light body, it just means that our physical body, our form, is able to carry more light in it. The light spectrum is bigger, or we can see more colors. Okay, as you know, the light spectrum goes on and on. Our visual eyes only can see a certain part of the spectrum. But so our light body includes all of these other, higher forms of light or higher frequencies of light. And I feel like the more and more that we embody those in physical form, the more and more androgynous we become. That's just my take. And also when I see, like I said, future Earths and things, I see forms being androgynous. And again, I don't know that I don't necessarily have any way to prove this other than the fact that in my own personal meditation times, when I'm going to these higher dimensional places and those higher dimensional spaces on Earth, on the physical plane, they are androgynous beings. I also feel like our DNA is shifting towards this as well. I also feel like our birthing template is changing, and males are being able to, on a higher level, birth through their higher level chakras. This is a whole different topic, and I realize some people won't resonate with this at all, but in my personal experience, the birthing process on higher dimensional planes does not happen through the sacral chakra. It happens through the heart. And I'm just assuming maybe when you go higher and higher, maybe it goes higher and higher chakras, so it doesn't happen sacral or heart, maybe even in higher dimensional spaces it happens in the third eye or the crown or above, since the chakras just keep going. So those templates are coming back together. This is part of the twin flame experience as well, because if you're familiar with twin flame, I hate labels. I'm sorry, I do. Labels are, it's like we're trying to wrap a skin around something that just doesn't quite fit, because the twin flame phenomenon or template that we're seeing is basically the feminine and masculine energies in separate bodies, in male and female body. They're not always male and female body, but they're in their fullest masculine, fullest feminine forms, and they're coming to unite. This is a form of coming back together into our androgynous being. They're part of that DNA upgrading to androgynous beings. We once were there. Again, this gets a little sci-fi, and again, may not resonate with all of you, but I do remember my past lives. I don't call them past because they're all parallel. They're all existing now simultaneously, but I do have access to them. I believe we all do, but I access mine consciously, and some more than others if I am utilizing them in this current incarnation. And when, again, on a linear scale, I remember, if we're looking at a linear Earth time, I remember when the Earth time was more in 5D. This would have looked like the Atlantean period, the Lemurian period, all of this, Mu, and all these other periods of the Earth. And it was more in 5D. I also don't like these dimensions of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not crazy about those descriptors because they don't feel like they totally fit. And I don't know the science enough to really know that when I say fifth dimensional that I'm actually accurate. But it's a higher dimensional space. In that time, we were also androgynous. This is before the feminine and masculine split. At least from my memory and being in those places, we at one time were androgynous. We split because the progress of a polaric experience on Earth was needed. And so we kind of moved down more into 3D, and that 3D experience split off into masculine and feminine aspects of self and needing masculine and feminine bodies. Our DNA split. I remember that process. I was part of that process. I know how it sounds, but I do remember that. And now I feel like the template, or the timing of the Earth is going back. The cyclical or the karmic cycle there is being played back, and we're going back up to 5D as a race, or as humanity, as a planetary existence. And so part of that, sorry, I should turn my sound off on my computer. I had my messenger up because I was reading your question. But part of that experience is transferring back into an androgynous state, which is the balanced masculine, feminine within each spirit and soul. And when you're on the spirit plane, outside of physical body, you are androgynous. You can utilize genders, just kind of like we're utilizing this body. Our spirit is like puppeting this body. If you imagine this body being like a little puppet, and our spirit hand comes in here and puppets it around, you can utilize the personification of feminine, masculine, depending on the instance or what you're doing. But in spirit form, we are androgynous. So I do feel like in terms of purpose, I would say that we're all going there. Some have more awareness of this than others. Some are waybearers, and more so than others. But this has always been our blueprint. We were this before we were split into feminine and masculine. We were androgynous. So, and again, our natural state is not a feminine or masculine expression. So the purpose, I guess, is to bring us back up into 5D. We're transferring back into our androgynous state, and the DNA not being split as such. So we're on our way, and you're part of that. If you feel like you are a gender neutral being, or you're feeling pull, I feel like, you know, I'm making a generalized statement here, but I feel like everyone, whether we're female in a female body, and we feel like we are being asked and we're growing in a lot of our masculinity, I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. And then the opposite, I feel like a lot of men can relate to the fact that as they grow spiritually, they feel like they are growing in ways that feel more feminine, more intuitive, more soft and receptive, instead of the other masculine type of energy. So you're not alone. You're purposed, definitely purposed, and we're on our way. Much love to you guys. Blessings.